It's crazy to think it's already been 5 years since the Jujutsu Kaisen anime started, and it's even more crazy to think that it's been 5 years since the reign of Satoru Gojo has started on the internet, and it's pretty much been undisputed ever since. But yeah, if you check out today's date, and then also check out the date the first episode of Jujutsu Kaisen came out, you will notice they don't match up. And that is because Satoru Gojo, in fact, did not take over the internet on the very first, or even second, or even the third episode of Jujutsu Kaisen. It actually happened on episode 7. And you cannot fact check me on this because I was there and I remember. Okay, but yeah, what happened in this mythical episode 7 that made Gojo the new face of anime? At least for the new fans. Now, the crazy thing is that although episode 7 basically made Gojo an overnight sensation, that still wasn't the peak of his popularity. That came years later, and we will get to it in a bit. But for now, what made episode 7 so great? When Gojo first appeared in the anime, the most he got was, "Oh my lord, look, it's a copycat Kakashi." But then came episode 7, and that episode is very important because it showcased us Gojo's curse technique. They did it very smartly because for the first 6 episodes we learned about like what curse techniques are, what cursed energy is, how the fighting system works in this anime. And then on episode 7, when we get introduced to this super powerful cursed spirit enemy called Jugo, and he is just confident, he is whipping out he is ready to beat some ass, and then Gojo demolishes him. And not only that, it's revealed his curse technique is literally infinity. Just plain infinity. And that right there is, at least for me, how all the boys, all the men started simping for Gojo. Because that was just the coolest shit ever. Also, his cockiness, his... But honestly, if it was only that, a bunch of other anime characters would have taken over the internet by now. But the thing that made him basically Jesus Christ to every single anime fan in this world is this. I cannot understate how much his eyes contributed to his popularity. When this episode came out, I had friends coming in who didn't watch anime ever, talking about how f***ing hot Gojo is and how he has beautiful eyes. And yeah, those 2 points, him having this badass ability and him being hot as fuck, is basically what got him into the stardom he has now. Because ever since that day, ever since the day his curse technique was revealed in the anime, people have been making videos. Till this day, people make videos and debates like, can Goku beat Gojo? Like, Goku can sneeze and fart and blow up a planet? Well, but Gojo has infinity. How do you beat infinity? But honestly, jokes aside, Gojo himself is a really interesting character, and I personally adore him. So much so that I have a full-blown phase where I was literally Gojo Satoru for like an entire year. But yeah, for the rest of the season, Gojo basically appeared here and there, and that was pretty much it. But his true popularity skyrocketed in season 2.
I'm sorry, everyone. Throughout heaven and earth, I am the Gunnar one.
Now, before season 2 started, a lot of people hopped on the manga, myself included. And also there was Jujutsu Kaisen 0, the movie which also featured Gojo, where he beats up an innocent black man on the street. I can't believe Satoru Gojo would do that. But the thing that really, and I mean really helped Gojo's case is that the start of season 2 was basically a 5-episode flashback telling his backstory. And now in that flashback, sprinkle in some gorgeous animation, badass scenes of Gojo, also some homoeroticism with him and Geto, and I mean, it was bound to happen. Honestly, you look all of that. You look like what made Gojo great the first time. It's been his cockiness, his amazing ability. And then in this second season, he just goes full psycho mode and just genuinely loses his mind, and people gobble that up. I wanted to make a joke, but I couldn't think of anything. And then, like, he's super hot. Girls are already like gushing over him, and then honestly, how could have this character not have gotten as big as he got? And to make matters even worse, the next arc after his flashback arc features him prominently in the beginning, and not only that, it features him beating some more ass. Gojo Satoru has famously got the title of the strongest, and in every single arc he appears and starts to throw hands, he undisputedly proves it. But the funny thing is, when you look at the author, it's pretty famous that the author of the original Jujutsu Kaisen manga, Gege Akutami, despises Gojo. And that's because, first and foremost, he is so freaking OP, and he made him so strong that every single arc he tries to write, it's just basically him trying to write over the trap he set himself with Gojo. And second of all, everybody simps for Gojo. Even Gege is wife. I do not know if this is 110% confirmed, but it's super funny if it's true, and honestly it would explain why the next things I'm gonna happen to Gojo. So Matt, I see here you're deluding yourself thinking you're a character from an anime.
No, I'm telling you, I am literally Satoru Gojo.
But Matt, you're talking to yourself. What the fuck? Now yeah, Satoru Gojo undisputedly hit the height of his popularity during this time period, which is basically July to September of 2023, because two things were happening. First and foremost, the season 2 content, which heavily featured Gojo. Second of all, his popularity has been boiling from all the discourse and discussions he had from the previous season. And third and most important thing is his return in the manga. And not only that, as soon as Gojo Satoru returned in the manga, he immediately started to throw hands with Sukuna. I am not afraid to give out a spoiler warning about this, because this fight has been plastered all over the internet so freaking much. Everybody and their grandmother knows about it. And honestly, there is a reason, because I do think that Gojo vs Sukuna is definitely the best fight in modern shonen, and is in a discussion of like top 10 fights in all of shonen of all time. It is really that great. Now, unfortunately, because of the very toxic leak culture that is going on till this day, everybody got spoiled on the ending of the conclusion of the fight, of the how the fight was going minute by minute, second by second, even before the chapters were out in Japan. And I'm not gonna talk about that in case you don't know, but it just helped propel Gojo's popularity all the way to heaven and beyond, which he is the honored one of. Now, fun fact, on almost the exact same day, the episode where Gojo gets sealed in the anime happens, and the chapter with the conclusion of Gojo vs Sukuna fight also happens. But honestly, is this the height that we'll see of Gojo Satoru's popularity? I genuinely don't think so. You are my special. Now yes, Gojo Satoru currently, I think so at least, is the most popular anime character on the planet. He's not seen for only by women or men. He is seen for by both of them, by all sides, in unison. And although all of these hype moments already happened, although Jujutsu Kaisen manga, the original one at least, has ended, there still is one huge piece that has to happen, and it will 125,000% make Gojo even more popular, at least for a long period of time. Because I just said Gojo vs Sukuna battle happens in the manga, but the anime is only starting season 3. Now, I don't think they will adapt this fight in season 3. They will either adapt it in season 4, which will be the final season, or they will go the movie route, which is very likely. Although I don't know if they can make the whole movie about just the Gojo and Sukuna fight, because they definitely can't make a whole movie of the whole final fight with Sukuna, because that's too long and this is too short. Personally, I just hope they make a season 4 where it's just the final arc of Jujutsu Kaisen. You can see that with the Demon Slayer movie that came out and the Chainsaw Man movie that also came out, like both of these arcs happened like 5 years ago. I mean, Demon Slayer ended, I don't even know, like 5 years ago as well. While the Chainsaw Man is still going on, but the Therese arc also happened, I don't know, in I don't know, whatever. And they still propagated so much discussion between fans on the Twitter, on YouTube, IRL, talking about these characters there on in the spotlight again. And that's not the most popular characters in all of anime. This is Gojo Satoru we're talking about. People are waiting for him to come back for like years after the Shibuya incident, and now they're waiting for it again. So let me tell you, and he has more fans than ever now, so let me tell you, the day Gojo Satoru returns will be the end of all of us, and I will be gooning so hard to every scene he is in.